think PJ just says like we are recording. I don't think he's like.
He had a thing. He had a thing.
He's recording the call.
We've already forgotten, PJ. We've already forgotten.
Past.
Yeah, who's that?
Welcome to our episode of Boom or Bust, the draft show. Max Chadwick alongside Tate Sigworth and Nick Merriam. The first episode without PJ Clark entirely. If you want to know why he's not here, it's good news for him, and we're so happy for him as his friends. But as his podcast co-host, it kind of sucks for us. But at the same time, so happy for him. But check out the special Rattler video because he was in that video. He's going to break down everything and what happened. Really exciting time to be PJ Clark right now. But we got more to do. So we got Sam Howell. We went over Rattler, who everyone I think has as QB1. Sam Howell, the North Carolina quarterback, probably QB2 right now. So we'll see. We're going to go over his strengths, weaknesses, where he ranks.
Maybe QB1.
Maybe. I want to be one.
Hey, all right. Give player comps for Howell, what NFL teams he might fit before you start the video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Of course, follow our Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Boomer Bust Draft, or on YouTube. Anywhere you get your podcasts, check out the merch store as well. And please keep supporting us because support for us is brought to you by that right there, Manscaped. Today's episode brought to you by Manscaped, our go-to for men's below-the-waist grooming products. Manscaped, new product alert. It's time to stop, drop, and order this brand new shaving kit that they just launched. Introducing the Ultra Smooth package. I think Tate has it, right? We all got sent it. It is incredible. It is incredible. Tate loves it so much he hasn't even opened it. He doesn't want to ruin the box.
Hey, pipe down. They got us. They take care of us in other ways. They send us so much stuff.
They send us too much stuff. There's always like when I was like, hey, you got a Manscaped package. Spoiler, we live with our parents right now because we're losers.
That was off the charts.
Specialized groin shaving kit to help you buff, protect, and smooth your most sensitive areas. I'm talking about the new crop shaver, crop exfoliator, and crop gel. It's time to crop that bush of yours and get right to the roots with a discount just for you. Get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with the promo code Boom or Bust. As again, 20% off, free shipping, Boom or Bust at manscaped.com. All caps, no spaces. Smooth it out, fellas, with Manscaped. Your balls will thank you. Let's get into Mr. Sam Howell. Go over a quick background on him. He's a junior this year, 6'1", 225 pounds. Little bigger, Sam Howell. Love it. 2 C's. Former 4-star recruit, number 93 overall, number 6 quarterback in 2019, coming out of North Carolina. 2-year starter for the Tar Heels. Second team All-ACC, Davey O'Brien and Maxwell Award semifinalist in 2020. He was a freshman All-American and ACC Rookie of the Year in 2019. And in 2 years, completed 64% of his passes for 7,227 yards, 68 touchdowns, and 14 picks. Also ran for 181 yards and 6 touchdowns. So, Tate, let's start with you. When you watch Sam Howell, what do you like the most?
I mean, a lot of things. You were saying that Spencer Rattler is unanimous one. I'd like to give some pushback on that. I think Sam Howell is probably some people's ones and very well at the end of the year could be one, if he has a good year or a great year. Things to like, experience. Just started as a true freshman at North Carolina and dominated. Broke a lot of true freshman records, starting for a big school, for a good football team, and then followed it up this year with his sophomore year. It was maybe a little worse, but it still wasn't bad by any stretch of the imagination. It was still a very good year for a quarterback. Already has 25 starts even before this year begins, so he's going to come into the NFL with a lot of experience, a lot of snaps under his belt. The big thing for me, I think he's extremely level-headed. He's got a great deep ball, throwing under pressure. He's really unfazed, throwing, you can just chuck the ball way down the field, even with defenders in his face. Without defenders in his face, obviously his deep ball gets that much better. He had a dip in touchdown numbers this year, but he boosted his completion percentage by 7 points, which is excellent. We take that every day of the week. He won't be much of a mobile threat, but it's, the deep ball, the experience, just a complete package for Sam Howell for me.
Yeah, the experience is big for me. We just talked about last year with Trevor Lawrence, like how impressive it was to have a guy who's played 3 years of high-level football in a Power 5 conference, and that's going to be Sam Howell this year. He's going to be the one guy who's played 3 years of, high-level experience football in college going into the NFL. He was very efficient throwing the ball downfield, good against pressure, has great sideline throws. I think his touch passes down the sideline is possibly his best throw is those sideline touch passes. I think he does a great job leading receivers to space, a skill that usually gets developed at the NFL level. So you see some of these kind of, pro-style mindset type things setting into his game that really are important. I think he's got Baker Mayfield like movement tools. We talked about that, I think, in the last video when we talked about, we have a little preview. I think he's got similar pocket ability. I think he's smart when he's leaving the pocket, when to do it. And I think he is ultimately plays exactly how they need him to in that North Carolina system. And I just think he's a smart enough player that whatever you plug him into, I think he's ultimately the type of QB that you could put him in any system and he'll work.
Yeah, listen, this experience was big for me too. Really good as a true freshman. Took it to another level, I think, as a sophomore this past year. His passer rating increased by 19 points from freshman to sophomore year. Like you guys said, he was really, really good as a freshman too. Arm talent, all there. Really, really good deep ball. I don't think there's anyone better in the country in terms of dropping it in a bucket. He has beautiful touch throws all over his tape. He's the same height as Spencer Rattler at 6'1", which is obviously a little undersized for quarterback, but he's got 20 pounds on Rattler at 225. He's a very solidly built quarterback. You guys mentioned again.
And he can move.
He can move. He handles pressure really well. Stands tall, can escape, find the open man. It's good because the UNC O-line was very not good, as opposed to Spencer Rattler, who maybe had the best O-line in the country. So, Nick, what do you think Sam Howell's weaknesses are, though?
Tough to nail down, right? But if I were to come to something mainly, and we talk, I think we're going to be saying this a lot, the Baker Mayfield thing, but I think it's a similar thing that maybe we've talked about with Mayfield at the NFL level, in that North Carolina is a very play-action, run-heavy based offense in college, and that can help a quarterback out a lot. And we've seen this kind of be the thing throughout his time at North Carolina last year. Had a great slot receiver, Daz Newsome, obviously, but really the most important part was 2 excellent running backs in Michael Carter and Javonte Williams, dominant run game, and then off the play action, you had his deep threat, and De'Ami Brown was also a really, really good deep threat. So he's had the tools to set up that offense to really work and prop him up as a quarterback, I think, in the past. And I don't want to say that as if it's a bad thing, because he's played about as well as you can in that system. But I'd like to see what he does this year, maybe with a slightly less good supporting cast, and see if they allow him to do a little bit more outside of that kind of run-based play-action offense.
Yeah, I think Nick's points are completely valid, and I probably can echo some of them. I'll maybe add on that I don't think he's much of a mobile threat. I agree with what you guys were talking about with the Mayfield kind of mobility, where he can extend plays, I guess, when he needs to. He doesn't do it a lot. One of my issues with Mayfield when I watch him is he just never runs the ball. Like, there are times where he just does not cross the line of scrimmage and just like loses yards or gains net 0 yards. So he's not, Spencer Rattler is much more of a mobile quarterback, but I think the big downsides are this system. Is he propped up by this great UNC team in 2020? How is he going to do in 2021? And then the lack of mobility. It's not, he's strictly a pocket passer, Big Ben, old age type lack of mobility, but it's certainly less than other quarterbacks.
Yeah, this is going to be a really, really important year for Sam Howell. Like it is for every other prospect the last year of college, obviously, but I think it's even more for Sam Howell because, like you guys mentioned, unreal supporting cast in 2020. The O-line was bad. I'll give him that. But you had De'Ami Brown, Daz Newsome at wide receiver, Javonte Williams, Michael Carter at running back. How will he look without those four this year? Wow, very good, Nick. That was actually that was really good. Damn,
that was pretty quick.
That was quick. That was really quick. Yeah, but like you guys mentioned, like the offense was so good with so many skill position players, and Nick mentioned too, is a very kind of college-y offense. So many vertical throws, rarely at all see any horizontal throws on tape. So much of it is just deep vertical passes with Sam Howell, which is good. He's got a really good deep ball. They run a ton of RPOs, a ton of screens. Tough to evaluate for the NFL. He also holds on to the ball for a bit. He invites pressure on himself. I don't think it's as bad as what Rattler has been doing, but it's something to keep an eye on. So, Tate, give me the bottom line on Sam Howell, where he ranks for you at player comp, if you want to give one out already, and any team fits you think for the next level.
I mean, team fits, it would be, the teams with the run heavy play action, Browns, Titans, Vikings kind of style offense. I have not decided between him or Spencer Rattler for who I prefer better. I'm going to kind of leave that open book and kind of let it play out. I like them both very much. My comp, kind of easy.
You have to pick one.
I'm not going to pick one right now. I know. I'm sorry.
First pick right now. Who are you taking?
I guess Howell. I guess I would go Howell at this moment in time. I don't know. I got questions maybe on Rattler's frame and personality type. I don't know.
Just questioning that QB1 watch it on Netflix.
Yeah. I don't know. The comp, I know it's very early and I know it's very easy, but I'm just going to do Baker Mayfield for now. Both big arm quarterbacks, similar kind of college numbers, both similar size. They play in a very similar way with the big arm and play action type stuff. So I don't know. I don't, love it. Maybe I'll change it down the road, but it's Baker Mayfield for me. And I guess he's ahead of Rattler if I had a gun to my head and had to choose, but I really don't have a preference.
I gotta watch QB1. He got me interested.
It's wild, bro.
Highly recommend.
He's a cocky. I love it. I love that.
Yeah, which is great. We got to have that.
QB1 too. They have some names, dude. Tate Martell, Jake Fromm.
It's some research.
Jake Fraud, that is, Max. Jake Fraud. No, the branding, Jake please.
Fraud. And Georgia trying to ruin Justin Fields' draft stock. I'm gonna put Howell in the kind of. He's, number 1, 2 right now with Rattler. Gun to my head, I'd probably say Rattler right now just because I think Rattler's game is where the NFL is headed. He's more likely to be kind of that elite QB at the NFL level, I think, just based on how he plays. But I think both of those guys I'm putting in kind of the tier with Justin Fields, Zach Wilson last year, I think. Great quarterback prospects. They're not on Trevor Lawrence's level, obviously, but the experience matters. I think they have a couple of Howell and Rattler both have a couple of factors in their game that makes them stand out, which I think is important at the quarterback position. And I think Howell's ability to kind of move around the pocket smartly. We talked about. I don't think he's super mobile, but he can do it. I think he's got the deep ball accuracy, which is just the most important thing these days. Makes him a top pick in the draft. And teams that he fits with, Tate talked about teams of the play action offense. Minnesota, he mentioned, could be interesting. We know they had some interest in Justin Fields this year. If they have a bad season, which I know they have some good players.
Kellen Mond.
Wouldn't rule it out. Yeah, it could be Kellen Mond, but I think he would work well in that offense there. But obviously the Detroits, the Phillies, the Houstons of the world, Carolina, those are the bad teams that are probably going to pick in 1, 2 that he would end up with. We love the Mayfield comp. I think it's pretty easy. I was kind of looking for guys who are starting right now who I would secondarily comp him to, and we talked about he's not going to run as much as this guy, but I think. Maybe Dak Prescott, it's hard. Like maybe Ryan Tannehill, maybe that's a better one, but I think he's maybe a better passer than Ryan Tannehill is already. So I don't know. That's kind of in the mold of QB that he's going to be. And Tannehill also comes from the offense, again, that we discussed in the run-heavy play-action offense.
Yeah, right now Howell's my number 2 player, number 2 quarterback, too, behind Spencer Rattler. Like I said, it's going to be really interesting to see how he does. If he's still an elite quarterback without all those weapons that he had last year, we're definitely looking at someone who can challenge Rattler for number 1. Player comp, again, the Baker Mayfield's so easy, but I'm taking it. It's so good. It's both 6'1", both strong builds. Mayfield's 215, Howell's 225. Both play outside of structure really well, hold onto the ball for a bit, which can invite pressure onto themselves. They even look similar, too. If you look at their faces, they got the same beard type, too. It's scary how much they're similar. Team fits, Nick count on the Texans, Lions, the Eagles. Those are the teams that are probably the worst this year. I'm going to throw out another one just to keep it spicy. I think Denver could be bad this year. That quarterback situation is garbage. The roster's good. The roster's really good.
I think the Raiders are worse, though.
The Raiders, yeah. Raiders are another team I could definitely see. But I think Denver sneakily could have a bad year.
The Steelers?
Drew Lock. Yeah, Steelers. I wouldn't hate Sam Howell. I think the Steelers will be picking top 10 this year. That's my hot take. All three, though, the Texans, Lions,
Is that a hot take? Is that a hot take, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Steelers are never top 10. Look, the Texans, Lions, Eagles, they look at the 3 worst teams. All 3 of them can use quarterbacks. But please, that's what we got in Sam Howell. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Comment what you think about Sam Howell. Is he your number 1 player next year? Is he even the top quarterback next year. Tate says yes. Nick and I have Rattler over him. Comment what video you want us to do next. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Boom or Bust Draft. Leave a review in our podcast. Check out the website below. Hit our merch store. And of course, go to manscaped.com. Use promo code Boom or Bust, all caps, no spaces, for 20% off and free shipping. So for Tate Sigworth and Nick Merriam, I'm Max Chadwick. Have a great night.